Yeah, it's Monday night, baby. We got a special one for you tonight. I got my co-host, Mike Ball, going to be coming in here in a second. And also, we got Nitro from the Guardian Riders MC. This is going to be a different kind of show than you're used to with me any damn way. We're going to be talking about all the good on the going on in the scene, bringing on guests. And I think you're really going to like it. It's going to be something else, man. You got the older gray beard over here, and then you'll have Mikey, man. Mikey likes it. We're going to get him a shirt made for that one. And he's going to represent a lot of the younger guys, and maybe us older guys will learn what these younger ones are all about. So let's bring in my co-host here, Mikey Likes It, or otherwise known as Peg Leg. What's up, Peg Leg?
I'll accept Peg Leg because it's fitting, guys. I mean, it works.
I think that's your new road name, man. Peg Leg.
Hey, it is what it is. You know, I don't make those kind of decisions. It's above me.
It's above your pay grade, huh? You know,
That's
you
right.
like Captain Hook or something like that, man, but you lost the leg, he lost the hand.
Yeah, that's two different
Peter
things.
Pan like chop your leg off or something. But anyway, you know, it's good to have you on, Mike. Like I said, what are you going to bring to the show as far as the younger generation of thinking? And I know you got to kind of dumb it down because you're actually smarter than most of your counterparts.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard representing a whole generation, I guess. But for me, my goal is to definitely not only educate and be able to try to show basically our side of things from our, the newer generation, newer guys coming into the scene, that kind of stuff, setting good examples. But also the positivity within the scene as well, not all of just the negative that we have nonstop been seeing kind of for some time.
By the way, I would ask every single one of you to help out on this. I want you to contact YouTube if you can and get Demon's Row back on the damn air. I guess some stuff went down and he was pulled. I want you guys to contact them, scream, yell, bitch, moan, and get him back on the air. He does have 2 other channels, but I'm talking about his main one, Demon's Row TV. Get him back on. You'll see a lot of us creators actually pulling for him and hoping he succeeds, because it'd be nice to have one of us make it. And when I seen that today, I was like, you're kidding me. So we got to get them back on air, get working, contact them for us, if you will. So go ahead again, Mike. We might have China Doll come in and ask a couple questions later on in the show.
Do it, because we love China Doll. China Doll is a great person to have on the show.
China Doll, something else, man. But what am I missing here, Mike, as far as your generation's concerned? And we're going to ask the same thing Nitro when he comes in. What are us old graybeards missing when it comes to your generation?
Like I've said on the platform before, sometimes it's people don't understand, but the OGs can learn from the new Gs, and the new Gs can learn from the OGs. It'll always be that way. But as of lately, it's been more of a divide thing, and people not wanting to hear anybody out. As long as we hear each other out, usually that's when we can come to a common ground. And I think that's what this show is going to show for everyone, that between someone like yourself and myself, we can always, as long as we communicate and we talk, we can come to some sort of common ground.
I believe so. And I think it, with the generational things, pushing all the nonsense aside, but the different style of motorcycles that we ride, you could say it puts us in a different direction from each other. Where I always say, if the graybeards, when we were going up, if we had freaking crotch rockets or Japs or whatever you want to call it, rice rockets, I don't know what it's called there. It's crotch rockets here in Chicago. If we had them type of bikes, we'd be riding them too because of the speed. But mine was a 77 Bonneville, so it wasn't quite as fast. But I think the level of ridership that the younger kids have blow us away. I have to admit, these younger kids know how to ride.
Yeah, I mean, some of these guys, a lot of them are my age or younger, and these guys are doing full on wheelies and stuff like that on their Harleys, drifting and doing all the Harley stunts and stuff. So, I mean, it's kind of impressive watching these guys, wheelie a 1,000-pound bike. It's kind of
Well,
impressive.
you're part of that Dyna Bro crowd.
I'm definitely a Dyna bro. Okay, don't be hating too much. All right, we love the Dynas over here.
Oh, well, I gotta admit, man, I got rid of that lowrider and stuff, because I'm more into the the bigger bikes and stuff.
No, it hurt your heart. It hurt your heart.
It hurt a little bit because it was fast. But what drew you to the Dyna?
Honestly, the feel of it for me. I'm a small guy, number one. So, and second of all, I'm amputated. But I always like the actual club style look. But then when I got amputated, I've actually since then have tried to ride a couple of my brothers like road glide. They're road kings and stuff like that. Just a little too heavy and a little too wide for me. So, keeping up a Dyna is a lot easier being amputated.
Now, how long have you been riding?
I've been riding all my life. I mean, because of the motocross stuff, growing up on that. But like actual street riding, I didn't really start until I think I was 21.
So you started at 21 years old.
Mhm.
What is the scene in Cali as far as 21-year-olds? What do they usually start off on?
In this area would definitely be either a sporty or it would be a Dyna. Usually those are kind of like the starting realm, if they're not doing the rice rocket stuff. Now personally, I've never even sat on a rice rocket. So I don't even know what it's like to even sit on one of those things. I don't think my leg could even fit on it.
Right.
So
what is the draw for you younger ones to those rice rockets?
it's speed. It's speed. Everything, it's that adrenaline rush. They
Is
love
it
that
speed
adrenaline.
or the ease of doing the different tricks that you guys can do?
Well, see, this is where I respect a lot of the Harley guys doing those stunts because it's a lot harder doing it on a Harley than it is on a sport bike, where it's just a power wheelie instead of actually doing some sort of skill with some sort of 800-pound Harley. It's a lot different. So that's what I'm interested in. For sure.
You know what's even more interesting about your generation? I have to kind of kick our asses, us graybeards, because we used to make fun of it. But you have a lot of women that are starting off early, and they get on them rockets, and they can ride better than any man out there.
Yep.
Us graybeards, when I bring Nitro in, he'll probably attest, we looked at a woman on a bike, and it wasn't that flattering what we said.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that some of the things, even the things I've said, and then all of a sudden I get out shown on the street. It's like, whoa, all right, chick can ride, man. It is
Now,
the way it is.
podcast, he did bring up a good thing. They watched that old documentary, Biker Boys. That's something actually Black Dragon was involved in.
That's right.
And do you think that really lit up the crotch rocket scene?
I think that was probably something that definitely helped it. It was probably something that definitely helped that scene, but I don't think that it needed its help at all, to be honest. I think that naturally those sport bikes, because of the price, the speed that you get out of them, I don't know, a lot of people are attracted to them, especially guys my age.
What about every scene is different. The Midwest is not the same as West Coast or East Coast. But when it comes to West Coast, what is it like for the different type of styles or subcultures within that scene? Say the Rice Rockets, say the Dyna Bros, say, the regular beefed up freaking cholos.
Sure.
What is a party like out in Cali?
something that you would see that is, I guess, unusual to maybe other parts of the country is you'll see a lot of the guys that you think that wouldn't be getting along and would not be at the same party. They're at the same party and they're all partying together. It's all right. You know, a lot of these guys know how to handle their own and be on their own side of the room or whatever. And there doesn't have to be any obvious craziness. It doesn't have to be crazy like that. It just seems to be a lot more tame, you
A lot
know,
more
in that
I
sense.
have
But
to admit, you younger ones, you got some bad looking women, man. We can only have wished what the hell you guys have now.
yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it was. I don't know if all of a sudden like they've watched a lot of movies or something like that. I don't know what it is, but all of a sudden there's a big attraction to this side. So we'll take it. We'll
I
go
bet
ahead.
you will.
Yeah,
You
come
know,
on in.
your wife's probably behind you. What you say?
Yeah, she's going with the chancla. Bah!
What you say, Peppy? What you say?
Uh-huh.
That's what
Yep.
she's saying right now.
Totally.
But you kind of went a different way, and I'm kind of like mini interviewing Mike here so you guys can get to know him on our channel. He's on the Madhouse a lot, but this new show, just to give you a little taste of the different experiences you're gonna get here on this show. And I think it's important for everybody to learn each other, like you said. There is kind of a disconnect between the generations. I actually blame my generation, Generation X, because we really didn't pass down everything we learned from the Vietnam veteran generation that taught us. And Wild Bill, Mike, did you ever see Moto Guzzies and Cali?
Nope. Negative. I am ignorant on the subject.
You're ignorant on that. What about Royal Enfields?
Royal Enfields, yes. Royal Enfields. Yep.
So do you agree with Marianne? California women are just better looking and take care of themselves.
That's probably just more. There's probably just more women here. That's probably it's just more bigger population.
Out, dude. You better watch out. Women all over the country. You already not in the good graces of women.
Yeah, I know it's already not good. So it's okay, guys. I'm okay where I'm at.
Right.
Yeah, I accept it.
So let's go into the charity stuff here because we're gonna have Nitro coming on here in a second. Callie, you guys got an all year round type of riding season.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
How's the charity over there?
Nonstop. It's nonstop. People think that charity is like, oh yeah, it only happens during Thanksgiving, only happens during Christmas. No, it's 24/7. It's nonstop. It's charity after charity after charity. It's just like I'll get flyer after flyer after flyer of all these different charities almost every single weekend, if not every weekend. It's nonstop.
Rock on. We're gonna have China Doll in a little bit. She is making a guest appearance on our first show to give Mike some encouragement about being on.
Yeah. I'm gonna need some help. China Doll, help me.
All right, we're gonna add Nitro in. Let's welcome him from the Guardian Riders Motorcycle Club. And I did a little bit of coverage of them. I believe it was last week where we showed a video of the charity that they're doing. Great people, man. Great people. So Nitro, welcome up, man.
Thanks, man. What's up?
Not much, man. You actually sound good. A lot of my guests are like on cell phones and stuff like that. And it's like amazing. Mike got you zeroed in.
I had some pretty good coaching there before we started on the show. So yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. Well, we made sure that we could hear him. That's it.
There you go. So Mikey, man, let's see you do an interview, man. Go ahead. You're in the chair.
Yeah, Nitro. I thank you first and foremost for coming on to the show. It means a lot to us. And this is actually Hollywood and I, our first show together, and doing a actual interview together. So this is going to be very cool to do. Nitro, first and foremost, if you would like to, I would like for you to, within your own words, to describe a little bit about yourself and what you're doing on here and a little bit about your club that you're with.
Love to. And thank you guys for having us. And I certainly appreciate you helping us get the word out. We are the Guardian Riders. We're in a kind of a rural area in Bristol, Tennessee, Virginia, right on the line. But we are a victims advocate club. What we do, we actually started with the intent of working with the kids that are aging out of the foster care system, say 16, 17, 18 years old. There's no programs out there to help anyone or help those kids. So we started out there, and, you know, when you get a request for help, or somebody reaches out with a kid that needs help or something, you can't say no. So we have kind of branched out to helping children. It could be battered women, it could be a veteran, it could be the homeless, just anybody that needs a hand up in the community. That's what we're trying to do.
Man, that is awesome. And also regarding into yourself, what kind of made you kind of get into this lifestyle before we kind of get too deep into what you do and your club and all of that? A little bit of, if you could, a little bit about your background, if you could.
I've ridden all my life as far as motorcycles, from racing motocross as a kid to, riding as an adult, and rode with a couple other clubs. And, as you get older, you kind of get more mature, and of course I could see the set changing. And I don't know that I moved away from the club that I was in, but I think the club that I was in kind of moved away from me, from the goals that I had. And I felt like that it was time to start giving back. And, I was in a little rougher world there for the longest time. And now, when I've said before that, all bikers have got the same mentality almost. It doesn't matter what back patch you got. A biker will put himself in between danger and a child that they don't even know. And it's been a few years ago. I had my other colors on, not the ones I wear now, but had stopped at a gas station, and a kid had pulled in, or the mother had pulled in, was pumping gas, and a kid was kind of hanging in the back seat, waving, had the window down part of the way. And the kid was waving, talking, and of course I was talking back and all that. The mother literally made that child sit down and put the window up. And I don't know if they thought I was going to snatch it out of there or what. And that kind of made me realize that we need to change this perception, because again, it doesn't matter what club you're with. A biker will go to bat for a child when it comes down to it. We were the guys that would run into a house to save that child, and then that mother wanted to snatch them away from us. And that really hit me hard. But it's not just that. I've heard other stories of very, very similar things. So it was time to give back. So sat down with a couple buddies, and we started talking about what we wanted to do and what we wanted to, to try to help out and to change the perception on the set. And we wanted to be able to show the good side of what bikers do and who bikers are. And this is what's come of it, is the Guardian Riders.
Well, you've got a lot of news coverage, especially locally.
Yes, sir.
What's some of the runs that you've done, the charities that you support?
We a lot of it is just little local stuff. The first run that this club did, we rode, there was probably 10 of us at the time, and rode about 20 minutes to pay $20 for some of the worst lemonade I've ever drank in my life, for some little girls that were raising money to go to Disney World for a cheer camp. And it just seems like it's snowballed from there. But we've done rides and tried to help support financially Many Miracles. It's a small organization here, work with physically and mentally handicapped children. We've done some rides for a young lady by the name of Lily Bell. If anybody wants to check it out, they can find her GoFundMe online. But she was born with trisomy 17. So we did a ride for her to help raise a little bit. And then one of the local car clubs picked it up. They did a car show for her, and we've been able to help out quite a bit there. We've done, there's a children's home and trauma center not too far from where we are here, and it's a residential home. Those kids, they brought them to, it's actually my sergeant's restaurant, Blue Circle, here in town. And a lot of those kids have grown up in, for lack of a better word, an orphanage. And they didn't even know how to order food for themselves sometimes because they've never done it. So brought them over, played putt-putt and things like that. And then we put together backpacks. Everybody wants to send them coloring books and stuffed animals, but nobody wants to send them deodorant and toothpaste. And a lot of that stuff is covered by the institution, but it's institution stuff. It's the, it's not the best soap or whatever. And of course, teenage girls want all this. All the old ladies helped with that. I have no idea. Hell, I don't even have hair, but they did the shampoo packs and all that. And I work for a dealership, and they donated some bags, and we just took them to the clubhouse and went and bought travel size this and that and filled them up and took them over to them. We had a young man, the story you covered, was Levi has cerebral palsy, and he speeds in his wheelchair, and he makes the school resource officer write him speeding tickets. So we went over and made him an honorary guardian rider and put the guardian riders on him, told him if the man hassles him to give us a call. But we've got the news covered it a couple times on that story. There've been several newspaper articles, news stories. It's just, that's the good stuff, man. I can lay my head on the pillow at night now. It's a different world than I've been in for the last 20 plus years. This is different.
Nelson asked, and you guys can put questions in there and I'll ask them for you, or Mike will. Are they only in Tennessee, or do they extend into Virginia? That from Nelson.
Not yet. We want to grow, but there's, if we just go and plan a chapter somewhere, then it's no different than anybody else. If there's a need there, then absolutely we'll help. We have, and especially in the Bristol area, again, we straddle a state line. So if a call comes in that we need to help out in Virginia, we absolutely do. We travel over. But as far as planting roots and things like that, we're not quite there yet. We're working on it, but there's some other things that's got to fall into place for us first. And, we're not an old club. We're not a big club, but the mission that we do, everyone is supporting it. And I can't thank the community enough. I mean, people drive by the clubhouse every day and they're blowing horns. And we've had guys that have had their meal paid for because of the colors on their back. And with us getting a little more coverage and shows like this, and that's why we appreciate stuff like this so much, is not only do we have people reaching out from places, Virginia or wherever, that want to come in, but we also have people reaching out that need help that didn't even know it was available. We've had, for instance, everybody does Easter dinner. So our club, we went to the clubhouse and had Easter breakfast with all of us as a family. We had quite a bit of leftovers, so we were able to go downtown and feed the homeless. There's quite a bit of homeless on both sides of again, we were on State Street, so we were in Virginia or in Tennessee or whatever. There's different agencies. One of the service areas that we're looking at, we just got all of our paperwork for court-appointed special advocates in Tennessee, and we're getting all that set up, but you have to go through a background check, which is great. Everybody should. But there is no service area over on the Virginia side where we're at here. So they're working on that. And once they get that set up, then we may look at trying to move over there. But
we got China Down Nitro that just walked in, and I know she has a question for you.
Yeah, she'll class the joint up a little bit here.
I would love to know where we can send stuff in order to help fulfill those backpacks for like bathroom necessities.
The address is 1619 Highway 11W, Bristol, Tennessee.
If you can put that in chat room, Mike, so that everybody knows. Go ahead, Nitro.
That's the mailing address that would take it to the clubhouse. We pretty well got a stockpile of it right now, so I appreciate it, but let's hold off on that. They can only take so much at a time, and that's a good thing that they're overwhelmed with it right now.
Now, do you also do things for as far as like back to school, for backpacks for children, for like school supplies?
We do. We already have a bunch of backpacks and stuff up there. My wife is a saint. She's put up with me for all these years, so that says something there. But every time she goes by a dollar store, she'll go find the clearance aisle, and it's notebooks or crayons or whatever. And a lot of the old ladies do that, and they stack up stuff at the clubhouse. And then when it comes back to school time, we have it. It's there. And what we typically do is just go and dump it all out on the pool table, and we get 8 or 9 people around the pool table, and everybody just passes a pack around and fills it up. And, we may do one for grade through 3, kindergarten through 3rd or 3rd through 6 or something. But we've got a lot of that stuff already kind of hooched back, but we can always use more. There's always a need for that.
Well, Nelson asked, go ahead, Mikey.
No, that's awesome. I love not only the amount of stuff that you guys are doing, but I love that the media is actually covering it in your area. That's kind of like a hard thing to essentially get from the media, unless it's some sort of, obviously bleeds leads kind of thing. But being able to get your local media to cover all of this is a tremendous thing to have happen, to your club. So that's awesome.
Nelson wants to know, do you guys take money donations? Are you a 501? If you do, how can we send the money?
We are a 501c3. We are a registered business in the state of Tennessee. We're an INC. But that being said, nobody makes a paycheck from this. If it's all volunteer. I want to make sure that's clear out there. I don't draw a check. Nobody else does. If we make $1,000 doing a run, $1,000 goes to that cause. We even support ourselves as far as our clubhouse and all that. But yes, we are a 501c3. It's embarrassing, but I don't even know exactly how that process works as far as the donation part. But you can go to our website, theguardianriders.com, and hit us up there, and I can get you up with our treasurers, and they handle all that stuff. It's out of my pay grade there. But yeah.
With China Doll Nitro, she really gets into organizations like BACA or BACA.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I know you're really interested in this show because of the Guardian Riders. You'd ask them whatever you want to ask them. Come on, you're not no voice at shows.
Oh no, I'm never quiet. I heard who was coming on, and I'm like, okay, I'll come in. Now, do you guys have in your area like a Special Olympics as well that you guys help out?
We haven't yet. That's something that we're looking at. There's a lot of what we try to do is kind of the smaller causes, I guess you would say.
Right.
There's a lot of people that help out with some of those bigger causes, and they have support from a lot of different places. Whereas one of the things that we're working on right now that we just started on earlier today, 2 young children, I believe age 3 and 7, were burned really, really bad on 4th of July. Someone threw an aerosol can in the fire. And one of the kids, they think, is going to lose a lung. I'm not sure. But we're working on trying to get some money up and get that taken care of. The family is staying at a Ronald McDonald House, which is awesome. But they've still got to travel. They still got to eat. And they're going to be losing a lot of work time and things. But there's, this. Again, the Special Olympics is a phenomenal cause out there, and it's great, but there's a lot of support for it, whereas there's not for some of these smaller things like this. So that's what we try to key on.
GuardianRiders.com. If you guys can get with Nitro, get some donations going in for those kids that got burnt up.
And it'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
I did look on their website, and there is a little form that you would fill out where you can ask your questions, and it looks as if they'll get back to you pretty quick once you fill it out.
Yeah.
Let's hope so, because China Down knows when we do her news stories in the morning, I really can't stand the stories about kids getting hurt. I
Oh
really
no,
can't.
you'll be like, you know what, China, just skip this damn
it.
story. Go to the next story.
Skip it.
Well, that's what I think all bikers are like that. Like Nitro said,
Mhm.
we
Yep.
have an attachment of protecting a kid with our own lives, and I never want to see a kid get hurt.
Now,
Right.
do you guys also do things as far as like kids that are bullied? Do you help out those children as well?
We do. We have kind of, it's our creed, I guess you would say, is we stand in the gap between victims and abusers. And it could be that someone reaches out and we escort them to school or something.
Oh,
We've
wow.
got a lot of plans to do this and do that or whatever. But each case is a little bit different. There's things that we will do that we haven't done yet, or things that we're planning, but things like that is something that's not come up yet. I'm sure it's out there. And the thing is, with an adult or an abused woman sometimes, or a veteran or a homeless, if they will, they can reach out themselves. They're adults. They can get in touch with somebody. Whereas a young child can't. A 10-year-old kid doesn't know how to reach out. They don't know how to get help. So it seems like we have a harder time finding those kids to help than we do with the older kids, or again, the veterans, or whatever. But yeah, bullying is something that's high on our list. We are a motorcycle club. We do prospect and all that, but there's not, we don't really haze our prospects too bad. It's kind of close. So yeah, I mean, we can't stand for one thing and then turn around and do it. But now we do mess with them. I'm not going to say that, but there's too
That's
many
a little
old school.
different. That's a little
Yeah,
different than,
yeah,
doing some of the shit,
yeah. It's it.
Now, one of the viewers mentioned you guys collect gas cards for those that are staying at the Ronald McDonald House, because I know a lot of people, like with our grandson and my stepdaughter, that her family had to stay at the Ronald McDonald House a lot in Chicago, and one of their biggest things is people would give gas cards
Mm-hmm.
as donations. Do you guys have people that give gas cards for help?
Yeah, that would be awesome. They can send them to that address, the 1619 address, and make sure you include in there who it's for, so that we know which way to send it. But yeah,
Because I
we'd be
know
more
that
than happy to.
I mean, you'd probably have to let us know about what local gas stations are in the area, because I know every state's got different main
different
gas
ones.
stations,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But I mean, I think that would be
I'll
very
get
helpful.
our secretary on that.
I think that would be very
It would.
helpful for the parents for those two children that were burned, because of having to
Absolutely.
travel, having gas cards would be phenomenal for them.
Yeah.
What about if somebody wanted to join Nitro?
Well, it's very, very similar to any other process. We're not a typical MC, but we follow old school traditions just out of respect for the guys that paved the way for us. You come in, you hang around a little, get to know everybody, and then you go through a prospecting process. It doesn't happen overnight. I tell everybody, you got to earn your spot at the table before you sit at the table. You serve the table before you sit at the table. Our prospects will take the trash out and mow the yard. It's not really manual, not too tough. And if you can't prospect for the Guardian Riders, man, you can't prospect for anybody. But again, if you just came in and we handed you a patch, would it mean anything to you? And the patch, this is almost sacrilege for me to say, the patch is important, but the patch takes second place to this mission. The mission has got to be more important to you than what you got on your back. and yeah, we wear a 3-piece patch. We're in the MC world. We move like an MC. We prospect like an MC. And that's part of it. We behave like an MC, but that's just the world that we live in. But you don't step right in, and you're not going to be a full patch in a month. But it takes a little time, takes a little dedication. Got to know that your heart's right. But if your heart is on the mission, then man, it's a labor of love. You'll be doing exactly the same things that we've set out to do here.
I love that you're focused on the mission rather than the image. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what it seems like a lot of people lose, sight of, is the actual mission. So
Yeah.
I love that you highlighted that for sure. That's awesome.
Oh, it is awesome right there, man. Highlighting. You know what? A lot of people are more into getting a patch than they are about what the club stands for. And you said you do extreme background checks. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a little different. As far as history, we checked for a lot of other things. Law enforcement background for one. With this club, we work through Child Protective Services, through court-appointed special advocates, through the court system. So we actually work with law enforcement. Got a couple corrections officers. That's a different world for me. I'm not used to that, but we work hand in hand with those guys now. And so a law enforcement background does not keep you out of the guardian riders. We do if you have a domestic crime, if you have a sex abuse crime, if you have a crime against a child less than 16 years of age, we tell everybody, don't approach this club for your own good. You don't want to come and try to apply, because we will find it. But yes, everybody is background checked, even our old ladies, because if we are going to hang out to do a check on a kid, it may be that the old ladies are inside braiding hair and coloring or whatever while we're talking to dad on the front porch,
Mm-hmm.
So even our old ladies are all background checked as well.
What do you think about that, China, about the old ladies being background checked to make sure they're safe, the kids around everybody?
Well, I think they should definitely 100% be. I'm shocked, but I believe that they definitely should be background checked, because you can't. A woman is just as capable as a man for harming a child. So you want to make sure that there's no harm going to be done to further damage the children that they're trying to help.
No, I'm fully shocked. That's the first time I've actually heard of somebody doing that. That may be something that other people already do. I have no idea, but that's the first time I'm hearing that and actually doing that. And if you're gonna do that to the guys, why wouldn't you do that to the old ladies that are coming around? I mean,
that's a good point for everybody. Go ahead, Nitro.
We actually, even our supporters, folks that aren't members of the club, if they're just a supporter, if they're going to be around children, they're background checked as well before they're allowed to be around them. And we got to be better. We got to be better than what these kids are coming out of, man. And that, we're there to rescue them, not put them in harm's way.
Oh, can I ask you a favor?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have any upcoming rides, can you send your flyers to Hollywood so he can promote them on his show?
Absolutely. We certainly will.
That's awesome. I love that.
Now, you were talking about orphanages, Nitro. What is that like? I've been to Mooseheart and was able to see that orphanage and how they helped them. Is there any worries about the orphanages around you guys down there, as far as are they actually taking care of these kids?
The one that we work with, I don't think I'm allowed to say the name. They were actually on the news with us. Of course, they couldn't show the kids on camera or anything like that, so I'm not sure if I'm allowed to throw it out there. But the one that we work with is phenomenal good. Man, they are great with them. We did, when we took the backpacks to meet them one time at one of the restaurants that they had taken them out to, they actually invited us back, and we got to actually go over and see the facility, and they're, you've got to be checked, obviously, before you're allowed in there. But we actually got to go over and meet the directors, meet some of the teachers and things like that. And they do a fantastic job with those kids. It's not like, the please, sir, can I have some more orphanage that we see on TV?
Oliver.
Yeah.
Oliver. Oliver. Yeah.
The one that we do work with, they're the only residential home in the immediate area that we've had some dealings with. There's a couple more that we've reached out to that haven't gotten back to us yet. It's kind of an in-depth process. Everything has to go through the red tape and the bureaucracy and the politics and all that. And again, we are an incorporated 501c, so that helps speed things up a little bit. But the few instances that we have had contact with the one place has been great. They've been really good with those kids, and they're great kids. They've just had some hiccups, man. It happens to all of us. It's not that they're bad kids. It's just they made some bad choices sometimes. And then again, it could be no fault of their own that they're there. It could be that their parents made bad choices, and that's not the kid's fault.
I want to read this one. Jeff Brace. I am the grandfather of Lily Bell that Nitro spoke about, and they have helped us so much. And there isn't a day that goes by that we don't get a message from Guardian Rider checking on Lily.
Rock on, man. That's awesome right
there.
Great
family. It's a great family right there, man. They're a great
grandfather of Lily Bell right there. Can you, for those that are just joining us, can you again tell them about Lily Bell?
Sure. Lily was born Christmas Eve in a snowstorm, and Lily was born with trisomy 17. A child born with that. I'm not really sure about what the cause is. I know it's a chromosome disorder. But Lily she's a fighter. She turned 6 months old at her car show. We did a ride for Lily, and I got to know that family. There's a long story that we'll get into one of these days about how that ride came about. But we did the ride for Lily and raised a little bit of money for her. And one of the local car clubs here picked up when news got out there about what we were doing. So they did a car show for her too, to raise a little bit of money. So we got to see Lily we rode in as a pack to her car show. So we got to see her again and visit with her on her 6 month her 6 month birthday, I guess you would say. But man, she's hanging in there. She's growing like a weed. She's a fighter.
Wow.
Maybe we need to get Jeff on, Mike, and talk about Lily a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, no,
Awesome.
we can, Jeff, if you can reach out to me personally, that would be awesome. It would be at Ball Valve TV, and then we can go ahead and speak from there for sure.
How does it make you feel when you're around the kids and they're just starstruck? Because I know when I was a kid, I seen a Harley going down that street. I was like acting like I was a biker on a bicycle. And go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, it'll make your head swell, but I don't ride a Harley now, Hollywood. I ride an Indian. There's a difference there.
Oh, wow.
Any motorcycle, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've got a Triumph too, and I ride a little, just whatever. But anyway, you can't describe that feeling. It's as much as the old life pumped the adrenaline out and really got you going. This is a different kind of high. It's, you can't really describe it. You just got to feel it. And when your head hits the pillow at night, I mean, honestly, I fight demons every night from the stuff I've done back in my past, but now I don't. I'm proud of what we're doing now. And I've said it before, and I've said it on the news and said it several times. We know that we can't change the world and we can't help everybody, but if we can change one life of one child for one day, then everything we do is worth it. All the effort's worth it. And this is a labor of love. I love what we do now.
Well, I always talk about, because my grandson has spina bifida.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of kids out there that are going through some hard times, but what you'll always find with them going through their medical problems or other problems is they do it with a smile, where
Absolutely.
us adults would never be able to handle what they got to go through.
Yeah. It's I've said it before. Yeah, I mean, it makes us proud, and it makes the kids happy, and they're smiling, and it's a good day for them. But man, the blessings are all ours. We're smiling on the inside too, and doesn't matter what it is or who it is. When you see that you've really straightened things up for a kid, even just for a little while, it's something to see 25 or 30 big old beardy tattoo bikers crying their eyes out. That's what it's all about. It's giving back, and that's what we're trying to do here.
Well, Jeff, you can probably get a hold of Nitro to get a hold of Mike, or
Yeah,
I've got his contact info. I'll forward everything to you.
Yep, absolutely. That would be fantastic.
Because we got a spot open next week, Jeff. If you want to come on next shows, Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. But you were talking about how you got these big burly bikers that are tearing up.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel, the perception? And you were talking about that earlier, about changing as much as you can about perception. How does it make you feel where you have a negative impact on bikers, knowing that we're the first ones that come out in the community to try to help?
That I have a negative impact on bikers?
No,
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
How the media gives out such a negative impact on
I'm sorry.
bikers.
It sucks, and again, that's just not the case. But the thing is, and we talked about it a little bit before the show, if a bar fight breaks out, and if it could be somebody with a Ride to Live patch on it, not even a club guy, and they see a back patch, and they don't know which club it is, and all they know is that somebody's out there, a motorcycle, and they'll call it a gang, but there'll be a fight, and it hits the media or it hits Facebook or whatever. That's all the mainstream media doesn't want to cover the stuff that we're doing. They want to cover us fighting each other or shooting at each other or something like that. And that's a rarity, even at least in my area. That's not something that happens every day. And everybody watches Sons of Anarchy and thinks that that's the life we live. If that was the life we live, we would all catch a RICO charge by episode 2 and the show would be over. It's
right?
It's true.
That's just not how this life is. This life is about calling my brother. My wife's alternator went out on her car, and her car died the other day. I was on the phone with one of the prospects. He beat me to her. I was going to pick her up, and he beat me to her, and actually changed the alternator on her car for me while I was at work. I mean,
Wow.
And it's got nothing to do with being a prospect or whatever. It doesn't matter if it's a full patch or a national officer or a nomad or whatever. We got each other's back, and that's what the media needs to see. And if they will show that, then maybe they'll get off of some of this stuff that bikers are bad and bikers are criminals, and because there's bad apples in everything. I'm sure there's bad apples in every club, but there's bad apples in the police department and in law enforcement and school teachers or whatever. There's bad apples everywhere. That doesn't mean that the entire high school is bad because one teacher screws up. No, it doesn't mean the whole club is bad because one biker messes up. And that's just kind of the mentality that we've got to get away from, or that the media's got to get away from.
Yeah, the media. Yeah,
go ahead, Mike.
Well, the media is hard. It's one of those things that no matter what you do, I mean, the media is. That's why I was saying it's impressive that you even got the great coverage that you did, because all they want is money. You know what they want, and at the end of the day, what is going to sell is what drama. You know what I mean? And if you can put drama out there, then that's what they want. So to being able to put yourself out there on an actual television level and local news level, it's very highly impressive to be able to do, and not just once, but being able to do it multiple times.
the media, it wasn't like that in the beginning. When we first started doing this and first really got out in the public and started doing these rides and projects, and then they kind of ignored us for a while. And once it got to the point to where a lot of people were saying, man, they're doing some good stuff, you know, you might want to take a look at that. And had some other folks, some friends of the club that had reached out to them, that had some contacts with them, and they finally came and checked it out. And now it's a blessing. But all I got to do is pick up the phone, and they've got a news crew there for just about everything we do. I don't want to flood them with it, you know. I don't want people to get tired of seeing it, but and
That's
recognition, we don't care about that. That doesn't matter. It's if these kids are getting what they need, or these veterans or these women are getting out of the bad situation that they're in, then that's what we need. We don't, rest of it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who we are, or if you even know who we are. It's what we do that matters.
How is your mission brought you guys closer as a club?
Well, again, you know, you've got these big tattooed, my VP's 6'5", I'm 6'3". We've got a national enforcer that's probably 6'3" or so. All of us big beardy tattooed guys. And then when something really touches your heart, and you've got three big guys like that standing there crying, I mean, you've got to lean on each other. And you're standing there with these big guys that you're at your most vulnerable. And, you know, we're old tough guys. We're not supposed to cry. We're not supposed to show any kind of emotion. But when you let your guard down and show that a child has touched your heart, then you're actually letting your guard down and letting your brother in as much as you are anything else. And that's what brings you closer. Brotherhood, to me, to us, trust is built at 90 miles an hour up the road, bar to bar. But brotherhood is built at 10 o'clock at night, getting a kid out of a bad situation, or at a 3-year-old's birthday party for your brother's niece or something. You know, last weekend, weekend before last, we rode to a 11-year-old little girl's birthday party because she wanted us there. And that's stuff like that is what makes you close to your brother. It's, again, you build trust up and down the highway, and you do build brotherhood, you know, camped out somewhere beside the road. I've slept at picnic tables on rest stops and all that. And Hollywood's been a biker for a long time too. I'm sure he's done the same thing. You get those runs and you try to sleep 2 hours where you can. But, you know, it's a little different now. One thing, I'm so old, I can't hardly do that anymore. But, you know, you build brotherhood there, but most of the brotherhood is built right here at home doing family stuff. The more you act as a family, the tighter you are.
Oh man, very well said right there. Very well said. What instance that you've been involved with that really broke your heart?
Man, I don't know.
I know that's a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought I had seen a lot of stuff in my past life, but I hadn't. We've seen stuff that is haunting, that adults can be animals. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Adults can be animals. And, right. You know, there's not a cell dark enough or a dungeon deep enough. God has got a special place in hell for some of these men and women that have done this stuff to these children. And it's, you almost try to put it out of your mind, but you can't. You relive a lot of these missions that we went on that have gotten these kids. Fortunately, a lot of times law enforcement's already been involved and removed them or something, and we're after the fact. that's what we're trying to work towards being, is more preventative instead of putting a Band-Aid over a bullet hole, so to speak. We're trying to go in and get the heads up before anything happens, and go in and take care of it, do a home visit, do whatever we need to do to protect these kids instead of rescuing them, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely does. I love that you're not only focusing on these people that have been hurt, but now you're going, okay, we see a pattern and an issue here. Let's go ahead and try to prevent this from happening if we can, which is very hard. But of course, being able to try to do something like that is at least putting a big difference.
It's I've told my guys, and I think I even put it in the brochure when we did them. We can't promise you're going to be successful. You're going to be hit. You're going to be spit on. You're going to be kicked. You're going to be cussed, and it's not always going to work. But at least these kids, or these veterans, or these women, or battered spouse, I'll say, or these homeless folks, at least they've got somebody in their corner, and that's more than they've had a lot of times. And, we're not experts. We actually have a trained counselor or two, and we've got some guys that are experts. I'm not one of them. But we do all we can. And again, we're not always going to succeed. We know that. And that's the part that breaks your heart. And then you'll have people reach out that, you can't help. And we try to do something for everybody, but the need is just overwhelming. And that's what we were talking about with trying to branch out a little bit more, because we're getting calls from, another state away, or even several counties away or something. And we just don't have anybody there at that time. And that's what we're working for.
All right, we got Jason that asks, do any of these people ever come to you and your club before going to the police?
Can I plead the fifth on that one?
Plead the fifth.
Yeah.
Yep, you absolutely can.
Let's just hold off on that one, Jason. There's some stuff that Nitro can't talk about.
That's right.
So don't get it as an offense. He just can't answer the question.
Now, Nitro,
no disrespect whatsoever.
What do you guys do as a club to support each other for the things that you've seen and the thing that you have witnesses? Do you guys also have counselors that you can speak to in case you need to?
We have a member or two that are actually counselors, but that's sad, but we just kind of grin and bear it, because and I know that's not the way it should be, but if I pay a counselor to go see a counselor, then that's $100 an hour or whatever it is that I could be spending on a kid going to see a counselor, or a woman going to see a counselor. So
wow.
I'm a grown man. I can take it. I'll be all right. But we just launched a program we call it DART. It's Drug and Alcohol Recovery Team, Drug and Alcohol Addiction Recovery Team. It's DART. And we're working on getting a Alcoholics Anonymous meeting one night a week at the clubhouse, and a Narcotics Anonymous meeting one night at the clubhouse. But what we're also going to do is try to get we've got some counselors that are going to volunteer some time to come in and do a support group another night during that week. It could be, the alcoholic, or it could be the narcotic addicted person, or it could be somebody recovering from trauma, or recovering from abuse, or it could be one of our guys or girls, one of the old ladies that have seen things. And that's what that support group is for. So we're trying to get stuff like that. This has just been so overwhelming. It's blown up so quick that it's nothing like what we thought it was going to be. We thought, we were going to be years getting to the point we are now. And the need is so great out there that we've just stayed busy with that.
How you doing, Carson? If you guys got questions for Nitro, start getting them in.
Wild Bill asks Nitro, do you have a preacher or a man of the cloth with you when you do some of this stuff?
Yes, we do. One of our chapters has a ordained minister as the chaplain. The other one we have a guy that came over to us from CMA, Christian Motorcycle Association, and he's still a prospect, so he doesn't have a tab yet, but he kind of serves in that capacity for us. So yes, we do. We have, and we're non-denominational. I don't care. You know, your relationship with God is your business. You know, some of us are one faith, some of us and it doesn't matter. We don't, you know, we don't discriminate or whatever. That's between Bible says every man will work out his own salvation trembling in front of God. So that's, to me, tells me that that's every man's business on his own.
Well, it shows me your bigger mission is that with the kids, and that is the main focus. So, I mean, if you can get the more help, why not at that point if they're good people? So, yeah, absolutely. Man, what a fantastic episode.
It's awesome, man.
Absolutely awesome.
I think you opened up a lot of people's eyes to what there is out there, and that there is more than what people see on the news. And hats off to you. I'm not wearing one, but hats off to you. And we appreciate everything that you and your club do for all these people.
It's not me. I had the idea and threw it out there. My guys have done all of it. I'm nothing special. It's the guys. I said before, it's every now and again you'll get the right people at the right time doing the right mission in the right place, and it's like lightning in a bottle, and it all lines up. And that's kind of what happened here. The right people came together, and these guys ran with it, and they have, man, they've really built something special here. I just so happens that I'm the guy that's on the camera, but it's them. It's not me.
Well, hopefully next week we can have Jeff on. He's the grandfather of Lily and my
Lily Bell. Yeah.
Maybe we can get her on the air too and check, you know, how to help the family and stuff like that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just seen Jeff had commented. I was going to tell him I threw him under the bus. I'll be calling him in the morning sometime.
There you go. But that's guardianriders.com for those that are interested in donating to the cause. 100% goes to the cause and not into the pockets like other charity organizations. You know, try to charge an administrative fee. It don't happen like that, according to Nitro. But you're welcome back on the show anytime you want to come on, talk about your events, talk about what you're up to and stuff like that. That way we do get the good into the scene.
But definitely get any flyers for any upcoming events to Hollywood, or even Mike, because Mike can give it to Hollywood, and so he can put them up on his show in the mornings so people will be aware of what's coming up in your area.
Absolutely. I certainly appreciate it so much. This is a big help for us. It gets the word out, lets people know we're here if they need us.
That's right,
man. And yeah, if you can get it worked out, Jeff, to get Lily on the show, she's more than welcome to come on the show. But thanks again, Nitro. We appreciate you being on. You're the first guest of the new show, man.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
That's good. Hopefully that's good luck for us.
It's got to be. I mean,
so.
it's only downhill from here, everybody. So,
no. I think if you've got Lily Bell and Jeff on next Monday,
yeah, that's right.
I think it's going to just continue going up.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
All right, Nitro, we'll catch you later, and stay in contact with Mike and all that stuff. And
absolutely,
you guys do an awesome job, and we really appreciate you guys making us bikers look good.
Thank you for having us on.
Rock and roll, man. That was Nitro from the Guardian Riders, guardianriders.com. So let's go around here like we usually do, you two.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on what you just heard?
Well, during the show, I was actually sending an email to guardianriders.com to get as much information as I can for those 2 children in the family that were burned on 4th of July, to see what kind of things that they need, and local gas stations to see if we can get some help out there.
That's awesome. What about you, Mike? What did you
learn? There was a lot that I learned, actually, and a lot that I actually got to think of myself, and things that I have gone like, wow, like he opened my eyes up to a lot of things, even down to the smallest things of like, checking background checks on old ladies. I mean, why don't we already do something like that? I'm sure there's clubs already that do it, but I'm just saying I've never heard of it. Stuff like that. We got to protect the small ones. And that's anybody that's around them, which are, not just men. It's also these women too. We should be making sure that these kids are safe. So,
well, that's one thing I'm hoping with the show now. We're, Mondays, we're going to really concentrate on trying to make, those that do good in the biker scene, get them on air and let everybody know there's more than the bad out there that I cover on the news every morning. This one is actually, it makes you feel better, this type of show.
Yeah, it does. It does. It shows that there's more out there than what people see in the media, because not everybody sees the good that's out there. Everybody hears about Toys for Tots, but this just shows that there is way more out there that bikers do for their community and for abused women and or men, and for the children out there. There's way more that goes on that people did not have knowledge to, and this probably showed and opened a lot of people's eyes today.
One organization I like to really get on the show is Bikers Against Predators. They've been in the news lately, and they've been helping to get these sickos off the street that contact children through the internet. And I believe that's a huge problem in society today, and it's awesome seeing bikers lead the way in that one too. Bikers really do lead the way when it comes to helping that community out.
Yeah, it seems like we're the ones that will stand when nobody else will. Even if the recognition is going to be there or not, it doesn't matter. It seems like the heart will always over trump any of that lame stuff at the end of the day. So that gives us hope for humanity,
Exactly. Don't forget to get on YouTube for us, everybody, and help out Demons Row. I guess they took his channel down, and there was a lot of work put into that channel, and I don't see a reason why they took it down, but they took it down. So, hopefully all us creators can stick together, get the word out there. And this was been an Harold here. Let's see here. Well, we'll bring Nitro back on here real quick.
Nitro, we've got Harold Ryder. I'm Lily Bell's father. I just heard about the live stream.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Just wanted to put the coordination there for you guys together, so you'll be able to watch the thing over for you, Harrow. So you'll be able to see it.
I just want you to know what kind of impact that your club is making, not only in your area but worldwide right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's made a huge impact on us. Like I said, I mean, the blessing's ours. It's a labor of love.
Rock on, man.
His name is Jeffrey, so I guess it's Jeff and Jeff Jr.
Yeah, Jeffrey Brace is the dad.
Rock on.
Wow.
Well, everybody, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said, next week, hopefully, now that we got the father in, maybe we get the father, grandfather, and Lily on the show and tell her story.
That would be awesome. I would love to see that little precious face.
I'll send you some pictures.
I would love
awesome.
If you emailed the site, I'll be able to pull it up. I'll send you some pictures of her.
I did.
Oh, yeah,
I did email, and in the message I said who I was, so you'd know.
Okay.
And it looks like Harold or Jeffrey said yes, so might look like we have a special little guest next week. and hopefully everybody can help them out and get her story out. Beautiful stuff here. Beautiful stuff. Anyway, that is it for today. Thanks, Nitro from the Guardian Writers, for being on. Beautiful discussion here, and the bikers are really making a difference. We'll see you all next week, Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Rock on, baby. Any closing thoughts there, Mike? It's your show too.
No, I just want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, Nitro, for coming on here and actually, telling us everything that you've got going on, not with just yourself, but your entire club there. And I am just honored that you came on and were able to tell us a little bit about your story. And I'm taking a lot of the stuff that you said to the bank with myself, personally. So know that you've touched a lot of people. I love it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I certainly do. We're honored. I'm sorry.
Harrow's wanting to know everyone else's name that's on the panel.
I'm Hollywood, and that's Mike Bell, China Doll.
That's right.
So here we are.
All right, guys. We'll catch you later. Should be a really good next episode right there. But all you guys be safe and be good.
I say goodbye, vamoose, adios, ciao, so long, get your hat jack.
#1 internet biker radio show is now available on Spotify and all major platforms, including iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher, and more. Don't forget to become a subscriber on any one